That's where we are. It's Café Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
My name is Mike Matthews. I'm at Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth, in the land of Ameritopica.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And we have a lot of topics to get to on the show. And I am Mike Matthews, and I am a really nice guy. And I have a website called mikesdailypodcast.com. You can go there and you can dance all day and night and watch a rom-com if you would like. It's called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's actually, you can't watch a rom-com at mikesdailypodcast.com, but you can listen to the
Mike's
podcast there. And
Daily
I also have a little radio station,
Podcast.
a quote-unquote radio station, which is actually a YouTube playlist that I put together, and you can hear music. Mike's picks for the best obscure rock songs of all time. That's at mikesdailypodcast.com. I know you're rushing to get there now. Or maybe you're rushing to go to the grocery store. Shoppers increasingly resemble nomadic hunters and gatherers, roaming the land in pursuit of affordable foodstuffs. Inflation is making Americans hit more stores on a typical grocery run. Inflation means I'm gonna shop around, because my mama told me. Grocery prices shot up 21% over the past 3 years. That's gonna get Biden reelected. Over the past 3 years, grocery prices have shot up 21%, squeezing household budgets. Shoppers trek to stores in less affluent neighborhoods and shop around for deals. See, now, I like to go to the affluent neighborhoods because then the grocery stores don't suck. I mean, they're more clean, because I've gone to grocery stores in affluent neighborhoods and gone, oh my gosh, look, the floor is shiny.
And here's today's podcast picture.
I can see my reflection in it. The can of beans is how much? The podcast picture is of a can of beans because I'm Andy Warhol. And it is actually of the wonderful town of Benicia. And I'm taking a day off soon. I might go to Benicia, but I loved going there. I went there 5 years ago. That's what this picture is from. And you don't see him in the background, but there's Basil the Boxer near me when I took that picture. Most of the pictures I took on that trip was of Basil. It was the last time he went to Benicia. Sadly, he's no longer with us, but he did have a great time going there with me, and he would bark at the birds in the water and the waves and run around and have a great time. Love your dogs, hug your cats. And if your cats claw you, that's because they're cats. The average American bought food at 20 stores last year, leading up from 16 stores in the same period in 2019. Couponing is in again, with roughly 2/3 saying they rely on coupons. Notice I don't say coupons, because when I first got into radio, I said coupon on the air and the PD yelled at me. Why would you say coupon? Well, that's what it is. There's no Q in the name. And our competition was a radio station called Q105, and he was afraid that people would think of Q105 and listen to it. That's how antsy and weird and sensitive and insecure program directors are for radio stations, just so you know. Don't say this. Oh my gosh. So you either have DJs that are on the air that are afraid of saying anything.
Why you're bald, Mike?
Yeah, fear made me go bald. Or you have DJs that will say anything they want. They don't care if they get fired, because they'll just get hired somewhere else, because they say anything they want and somehow they magically get hired elsewhere. But coupons are back up from 33%. Up 33% from 3 years ago. The thrifty trend has pushed retailers to double down on store brand items, which tend to be cheaper. And who wins? Aldi. There is only 2 stores in the Bay Area. Really? I didn't even know there's 2, and I didn't know there's any in California. There are only 2 stores in the Bay Area, but it is a bargain hunter's emporium. Aldi's food traffic rose 26% just in the month of March this year. Faster than
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Faster than at Trader Joe's. And I thought Trader Joe's and Aldi are owned by the same people, I have heard. And Aldi, let's see. They are related. Who owns Trader Joe's? Are Aldi and Trader Joe's the same? Aldi and Trader Joe's are 2 separate companies that often work together, but not in the same way. Aldi Nord owns Trader Joe's, and Aldi US, while Aldi Sud owns Trader Joe's in the US. Okay, that's from the AldiReviewer.com. There is a website called AldiReviewer.com. Okay, well, I went to one in Germany in 2009 and thought it was so cool. And then where I used to live in Huntsville, Alabama, they got an Aldi after I moved away. And I was meh. But I guess the Trader Joe's in Podcastro Valley has basically the same stuff. But they got 26% more people coming in to their stores. That all from Rob Black. He does a show on AM 1220 KDOW weekday mornings. And he's on Cron TV Monday through Thursday in the 9 o'clock hour. I produce his podcast.
Hey, good looking. We'll be back to pick you up later.
Mr. Microphone knows that home prices soared despite higher mortgage rates. That's been the big news story. That, along with Elon Musk going over. He actually went to China, was able to work out a deal that his, I don't know, what do they call it, the autonomous cars, but they're not really autonomous because they can't drive on their own, but he's trying to get that part. He says with that, if that takes off, then his company's going to do great. As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth, and now he's got a deal going in China, so yes, he made that happen, which I don't know what the deal is, if that's a great thing or not. I had a guy in a Tesla behind me today, riding my backside of my car and flashing me to move out of the way. I'm in the far right lane, dude.
Oh, wait.
What am I supposed to do? Here,
Anyway.
Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. I'll go faster, sure, but I was going faster than the people in the left lane. What? California drivers, the worst in the world. And it's probably, what adds to it even more is the Tesla drivers. Home prices, by the way. Okay, back to that. Or am I going to go back to how Elon made the move of actually showing up and talking to people face to face versus doing another annoying Zoom call? Or what some companies that are using the Microsoft, the Office stuff, they're switching over to Teams, the Microsoft Teams, which I have heard bad things about. So, and everybody's used to Zoom. So what is that? Let's say you need to go into work more often, is what I'm saying, even though a lot of people in the Bay Area are just going into work 3 days a week. You can definitely tell that because Mondays and Tuesdays traffic definitely seems lighter. Did you know that the BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit, our fast-moving train system that connects the East Bay to San Francisco and to the North Bay, well, not quite to the North Bay, but it gets everyone around in a quick manner, usually, unless it breaks down, which it has done to me in the past. Ridership was over 400,000 a day. It has dropped to less than half that. Not quite, kind of close to that, but not quite. So they're not doing so good. People are still driving in, but people are working from home. People like the Zoom stuff. So what about homes? Oh, and the other thing too is that there are...
It's a trap!
It's a trap. It's more people are moving to places that cost less. But those are the workers. The managers have to move to the cities. So you're getting this migration happening where managerial types are moving to cities and paying the high cost of living in a city, or living in the suburbs outside and doing the whole commute thing and going through BART or whatever else, dealing with that traffic. And then there are the workers moving to places that are more affordable. But home prices soared, maybe because of all this, despite high mortgage rates. Strong demand and tight supply continue to push home values higher, even though mortgage rates are now moving higher again. Home prices in February jumped over 6% from the previous year. It was the fastest rate of price growth since 2022, November of that year.
Mike is awesome.
Thank you. Following last year's decline, U.S. home prices are at or near all-time highs. That's right. It's tempting to sell my house. Let's see. Currently at all-time highs are these 4 cities. Bum 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 bum. New York. Bum 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 bum. Washington D.C. Bum 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 bum. San Diego. Bum 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 bum. And Los Angeles. San Diego is doing so well. In fact, they are up the highest. They are up 11.4%. Just below them is Chicago and Detroit. They're up. Their house prices are up 8.9%. And San Francisco, it is up 5.2%. So some other hot markets that are, let's see. It says here, Boston, New York, and Washington, D.C. are hot markets as return to office is contributing to outperformance.
The Haley moment of the week.
Hello, Haleys of the world. This is Mike saying hi out to you. And Nikki Haley, sorry you didn't get the Republican candidate. Actually, you could still... They haven't had the primary, the main where they select the presidential candidate, but it is going to be Trump. Everyone knows. But Nikki Haley gave it a good try. People that talk badly about her, some did so in the most sexist of manners, the same way they talk about Kamala. And it really is annoying. And it's mostly people on the right, from what I've heard. Right-wing talk show hosts that make up most of AM radio. They said some not nice things about them and about Biden being old. If you grab that low-hanging fruit, that means the lefters can grab the low-hanging fruit about how Trump passes gas in court and falls asleep like an old man. Oh, our candidate's not an old man. Oh, he falls asleep in court. Well, yeah, but he was, he didn't do anything wrong. He did nothing wrong? No, not a thing wrong. Not a single thing wrong? No, nothing wrong at all. He's pure as the driven snow. Okay. High mortgage rates will prevent a house price boom, though. So don't expect to get top dollar if you have a house that you're trying to sell. The combination of tight supply and rising buyer demand will deliver home price growth of 5% this year and 3% in 2025. They are predicting because of the tight supply and more people wanting to buy a house. Here's the thing. When you rent a house or you rent a place, if something breaks down, they need to fix it. Whereas when you own the house, you have to fix it. Oh, but Mike, it's got all this asset and all those other fancy words that people that are financially minded know. Yes, it does. It has all of those things. And you've got this wealth of money that you can draw from in different ways. But still, it's not going to make you as much money as the stock market. Chewbacca, who is a certified financial planner, knows this for a fact. In fact, he told me. Now, he is not part of the world of Battlestar Galactica. No. The world he comes from inspired Battlestar Galactica, but there's a guy on that named Starbuck. Actually, if you watch the show that came out later that everybody loved, it was a woman. But Starbucks has a summer drink lineup ready to go. And it could be another catalyst for U.S. sales. There have been chatter that the new products might include, a raspberry flavored refresher with chewy balls. Ooh. That would be the pearls or boba, like boba tea. We got that all over the place now in California. I remember you used to only find it in the Bay Area. And then one popped up down in Southern California near me in Ventura County. I was like, whoa, those tapioca pearl ball thingies that you can eat that do weird things to your stomach sometimes. I don't know if your stomach can necessarily break it down. Break it down. But that's what Starbucks is getting into it finally. Years and years later after the first... everywhere you go in the Bay Area, there's this franchise called Quickly, which they probably got to start paying their employees $20 an hour. That's right. They're making almost more than your favorite therapist. It's crazy how much they're making now in a franchise. So those drinks are going to get more expensive at Quickly, which I stopped drinking. I stopped it a while ago. I was pretty much hooked, but then I stopped. I said, I don't need all that extra sugar. I got to watch myself. I'm getting old. Got to watch these things. And all these wonderful diet pills out there, which I didn't know Amgen, who used to have a factory, a research facility near me. And they were over Equity, Homes Equity. That's what I was trying to think of. It was callback time there. Back in the 90s, one of my first jobs, full-time jobs.
What was that all about?
Thank you. It was a long time coming, callback. Wake up. You're in court. Let's see. It was back in the 1990s, early 90s, my first full-time job in radio. I worked nights at a station in Thousand Oaks, and we were in the area, the broadcast coverage area. Inside our broadcast zone was a company called Amgen, and they're still around. They make sometimes their stock has gone through the roof, sometimes it has not, but lately they're on the diet pill bandwagon. The GSP, GPI ones or something. They're getting into that as well. So if they do really well, then Thousand Oaks, or is it Newbury Park? Somewhere, Westlake Village, somewhere in that vicinity. Okay, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Remember back when you had Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, later Jennifer Garner? They called it...
Hi there, Mike. How are you?
No, they called it Benifer. Okay, remember that? Or Bradgelina with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Well, is Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, is that trailer trash? No, Taylor Swift, not Trailer Swift, just keeps breaking records. Her songs are now the top 14 of Billboard's Hot 100 singles chart with the Tortured Poets Department album that she put out. She is now tied with Jay-Z for the second most number one albums, just behind the Beatles. Interesting thing I found out about Jay-Z. Oh, I didn't even mention this, that I missed this. This happened last week. One of my jobs is I will record people and their shows and their podcasts and their radio shows. I record them as they do interviews, and I have to set it up so that the person that they're talking to and them, they're perfectly mixed, and we put all the bells and whistles and make it a nice sounding radio show and podcast. Well, the interviewer had a really special guest. It was the guy who invented the everything bagel. And what was fascinating was I had just had an everything bagel the day before with egg and cheese. It was so delicious. So I said to this guy, I think his name is Brandon Steiner. I said, thank you so much for inventing the everything bagel. And he's,
What is the matter with you?
well, I wanted to thank him because it's so delicious. And he is from Brooklyn, so he's kind of like, hey, you're welcome. And he also is known for, he tears down stadiums. When that's his other big claim to fame. It is not an easy task to do. He tore down Yankee Stadium. But he did get to, before he tore down the stadium, as I recall the story, he had box seats next to Jay-Z. And he said that Jay-Z, the one thing he really remembered about Jay-Z is he asks a lot of questions. He said he was even asking me questions. He's a very curious man, wants to know everything, and I think that's why he has been so successful in his life. He's always curious, always trying to, and as this guy said, was his...
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
No, don't ever say can't. He's one of those people that says, never say can't, and he says, don't run away from problems, run towards problems so you can fix them. I guess he's done a TED Talk, so this guy. So he said, Jay-Z asked a lot of questions, and I find that interesting, and it makes me say, I need to ask more questions. Because the question you don't ask is the answer that you may have been thinking your whole life, and that could have helped you. Oh, Domino's, they got their promotions, drive pizza orders. Oh, their Domino's promotions called, it's the Carryout Boost Weeks. They have these weeks where they're trying to do a discount.
What the hell did I yelp that?
So that when you leave at the Domino's and you Yelp and go, oh, does anybody go on Yelp anymore? Oh. So I guess it's a 50% discount. That has boosted them doing these discounts, as you would imagine. That, and I haven't talked about Domino's in a long time. I don't get takeout pizzas because we discovered that Costco has cheese pizzas that are fairly inexpensive that you can get frozen. You take them home, put them in your freezer, and then when you feel like having a pizza, you pull one out, and then you doctor it up. You put all the healthy stuff on it. Like you chop up some squash, maybe zucchini and tomatoes and bell pepper, and do it your way without them charging you over $30. Although I guess 50% off, that would not be that cost that much. But oh, and lastly, retiring in California. How long will $750,000 last you if you retire in California? It will last you 9 years and 4 months in California. Yeesh. So time to get out of California and Dodge. But I don't think, is Dodge in California? I don't think so. Where the heck is Dodge? Isn't it Nevada? Let's see. We'll just ask the Dodge City is in Kansas. That's the first answer I got there. Okay. Dodge City, a wicked little town. It is called home to about 28,000 people. Says Legends of America. All right. Outside of Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, look who's here. Hello, Michael Masters.
Yeah, how's the mic, Mike?
Who is that guy? He was asking me about the mic, and my name is Mike. Oh, yes, that's very interesting. Michael Masu, I wish I was on Twitch right now doing a live stream and talking. Ooh. Oh, that sounds like it'd be very fun. Do you like to talk to people? Yes. Do you like to be on Twitch? Yes. Do you like video games? No. Dig Dug. I was trying to tell a Gen Zer about TikTok. Not TikTok, Dig Dug. He knew all about TikTok. Oh, TikTok kicked me off, by the way.
Right.
I tried to sign into my TikTok to upload a 1-minute piece of my podcast would not let me, said your account's been suspended. So much for that. So go ahead, Biden. Rip TikTok out of America, even though you're being on TikTok trying to reach the youngins with all your things you're doing to help get young people, get the young vote with the stuff with the reclassifying cannabis and whatnot.
Poppy needs that sticky icky for his glaucoma. Yeah.
Oh, look who else is here.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the person attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do that!
Mike, I remember Yelp. That was a thing that sometimes if you clicked on the little button, you could get a discount there.
Yeah, discounts. Do you know that? Could you get a coupon? Yes. Oh, Madame Rootabega, you're still here. Do you like hanging out? Yes. Do you want to hang out some more? No. Okay, then let's give out the phone number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
Respect, honor, and yes, the truth. Recent weeks and months have taught us a painful lesson.
And with more ways to reach me and find out all things Mike's Daily Podcast and to listen to Mike's Daily Podcast and to see all the podcast pictures. Yes, all that cool stuff. That's cool, right? It's A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
That was FF episode 2014. Wait, how do you read that? 2014. 2014 FFF episodes of this show. No, wait. That 0 should be an 8. Hang on. There. That was FF episode 2814. 2814. 2814. Numbers. So confounding. To catch all the past podcasts and past podcast pictures, you can go to mikesdailypodcast.com.